Follow us on Twitter
@BrandX Podcast.
Follow us on Instagram
@BrandX Podcast.
Like us on Facebook.
Facebook.com/BrandX Podcast.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Welcome to the BrandX Podcast. Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 95 of the BrandX Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, John. Alongside me, Deuce.
Como esta, bitches?
Spinning beach ball of death.
Yeah.
There you go. Today's been a wild, wild day. I was up last night till 1 doing working and stuff, and I decided I was going to sleep in this morning, and at like 6:50, I get a phone call from Doug, like in the morning. So I was like,
From Who's Right, Doug?
yeah, Who's Right, Doug, from the Who's Right podcast. So I'm like, I got reaching for the phone. I pick it up. I'm like, and I don't want him to think that I was sleeping. So I'm like,
At 6 in the morning, what else are you supposed to be sleeping?
So I go, hey, what's going on? He's like, you motherfucker, you finally got me to call. And I was like, what I do now? Like, I don't think I said anything bad about them, to be quite honest with you. Here, our abortion discussion, he got all incensed about that. But he was mad at both of us.
Okay.
I don't know what that was all about. But then I thought to myself, well, listen, if people are like, they get that emotionally charged where they want to call me at 6 o'clock, thank God all the listeners don't have my phone number.
Yeah.
So
You never get any sleep otherwise.
right. So he gave me a call. We got a chance to talk. I don't know if I told you this, and I want to give a shout out. He is on the Poor Boy podcast. There'll be a link in the show notes for this. It's 2 hours of conversation.
Yeah, it's a one-on-one. He talked about it on their last episode.
Oh, he did talk about it?
Yeah, you didn't hear the last one that just dropped?
Dude, remember my memory. It's horrific. Remembery.
I believe they...
Yeah, he had to, because that's the only way I would know.
I think they dropped it a day later than usual. I think they may have dropped theirs on Memorial Day as well as ours. I heard it the day it dropped. I think it dropped on Memorial Day. So it's an excellent, excellent interview. So, again, here's the thing. Jody, who's from down south, he's a little bit of a slow talker. They down there, they take things a little bit easier. I'm from the Northeast. Things move here quickly. We talk fast. We move fast. Everything's quicker up here. So trying to listen to that, it was like annoying me because he kind of draws things out. He thinks as he's talking and all that. Well, on my podcast player, it has a thing where you can move up the speed. I moved up the speed to 1.7, and I totally enjoyed the podcast. So I said to Doug, I was like, my God, I had to turn this thing up to 1.7 so I was like, I wanted to reach over there and pull the words out of his mouth. So, big thing, back and forth, kind of chuckle back and forth. Then he tells the story about how he was hunting when he was like 19 or something, and his cousin put a rifle on the hood of the truck, loaded, which you're never supposed to do. It started to slip. The cousin grabbed the thing, went off, and shot him in the face. Ew.
Yeah, and I'm
like, shotgun or a rifle?
A rifle.
Jesus Christ!
Broke his jaw, went out the back of his neck.
He's lucky that's all that happened.
He's lucky he's alive, right? So he tells the story of the whole how it went down, the whole thing. Now I'm like, get back on the thing again, and Doug. Jesus, I can't believe I just said this about the guy and he's shot in the face. It's like I didn't know, But I'm just saying. Sometimes with a podcast player, if they have that long Southern drawl kind of talk, which I need to do because with my lazy, fat South Jersey tongue.
Well, I speak way fast. I know that.
Yeah, so it's a little hard to, but it was a really, really interesting interview. I'll tell you what, Doug really shocks me for the simple fact that, when you listen to him from the Who's Right podcast, you think it's these two goofy, dopey guys that are just trying to make each other laugh and all. But I'll tell you what, Doug is a really talented guy. He's smart. I mean, really smart. He's talented. He does a lot of like Photoshop and graphic arts work. He's all self-taught. He taught all this himself, and he does an amazing job. And now he's actually starting to do it for other podcasters, like selling some of this. And I'll tell you what, if you don't know how to do the graphics and stuff like that, give him a try. I mean, he's done graphics. He was doing it for free. He was just giving it away, to different podcasters. I think he did the story behind. I'm not the story behind. I always do this. The
Jason and Mindy podcast?
No.
The difference between us?
The difference between us.
Okay.
Before they changed the logo, the very first logo they had, I think Doug did that. Matter of fact, I'm sure he did it. So he does excellent work. And if you want to get a hold of him, I'll put a link. Now I have to call him again to get a link so I can put it in the show notes. But check him out. He does really, really good work. He's a good guy. And, they talk shit about me all the time, but that's okay. It's in fun. Like they were
clean fun.
They were breaking my stones. Anthony wants me to pay $20 to listen to the free podcast because I should have to pay for the rest of the people.
Forever.
Yeah, forever.
Yeah.
I was like, but anyhow.
The regular episode is going to be put behind a Patreon wall just for you.
Yeah, for me. Well, the funny thing was that, Doug called me to warn me or he sent me a text to warn me that they talked about me. And he says, remember, it's just in fun. I'm like, okay. So then they did that part. And I'm like, okay, well, I can't wait for the real zinger.
But there's more.
There wasn't more. And I was kind of disappointed. I thought I was going to, I thought they were really going to hammer me. I mean, I figured if it required someone to say something, that it would be worse than really what it was. So, it is what it is. We're getting more feedback now from people. And what's really weird about podcasting is that they're not always with us. They're not always up to date. So they'll send us some feedback. And I'm like, what episode was that from?
Yeah, it's like 2 or 3 back.
Right. We got a text today from Jerry from Bad Cop, formerly of Bad Cop. So he said, what was his text today? Oh, I know what it was.
Olive oil is a 5?
Yeah.
What, are you kidding me? Something like that.
Yeah. And I'm like, lower? And then you charged in with, well, she must have had something to get Bluto and Popeye to fight over. And then my thought was, well, look at those two. I mean, just the fact that she doesn't have dick and balls, they would fight over that.
Yeah. She has a trick pelvis or something going on.
So, Jerry says she should be a 1 at best because her Adam's apple is bigger than her cans, which if you look at it, it's actually true.
It's a very pronounced Adam's apple.
Right. Which means she might be a dude. She might have dick and balls.
Or she got out of that cow.
Well, wait a minute. Women aren't supposed to have Adam's apples.
Well, they do. It's just that they're not
pronounced.
If they're starving to death, then you'll see it.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
so
if you have like zero body, your BMI is like 0.02.
I guess.
Like a refugee, then maybe you'll see it.
True. And then
that was about 3 episodes ago.
It was.
The olive oil reference.
And then I got a message from Daniel Repholz from the Toe on the Trigger podcast. And he told me a pair of panties weighs 1 ounce. So that's 16 panties per pound.
Right. So that doubles the amount of panties that I computed because I used 3 ounces.
Right. So
that more than doubles it, actually.
Yeah. So he had 90 pounds.
It triples it.
Yeah. So it's crazy.
What did I say it was? Like 900 pair of panties?
It was 90 pounds. I don't remember what the math was.
Yeah,
but you did.
I figured.
Whatever
it was, whatever number I said, triple it.
So it's 160 per pound.
Right.
No, 160 per 10 pounds. Wait a minute. Here we're doing podcast math now.
16 per pound. So 10 pounds would be 160 panties.
Right, times 9. That's a lot of panties.
Right.
So who knew that Santa had a panty fetish?
Yeah.
But that Daniel said, well, hanging around, doing all the things with the kids and then the panty fetish. Kind of really downgrade your what you think of Santa, I would feel.
But he was a Santa from another land.
Yeah, I think he was.
Yeah. Oh, I know he was.
Yeah, he was.
Because we were playing the...
That's true.
So we had to have the mariachi music at the ready.
That's true. I forgot about that.
Because you just never know when a story of someone from another land.
Right.
Not to be confused with this somebody from another land.
That is true, too.
Dunkin' Donuts or...
I must have had something. You know something? I know what it is. When I lost the hard drive here, I always back up my soundboard, the boards to Dropbox, which is an online thing. And I think I might have not backed them up because I can't find... I think they went back to a different... They're not all in alphabetical order anymore.
Oh, so they defaulted to before you alphabetized.
Right. Because I couldn't get to this fast enough. Hate that. So, yeah. So that's a lot of panties. So Santa must, could you just imagine like Amazon or Victoria's Secret boxes just showing up? I can't see where he would go in and buy all those. I don't know. Mm. And then
although it could have been like one of those like fantasy gift shops you always see like in shopping plazas, like.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So, and then also Dino Red from the Shiznit Show, one of my favorite shows.
Mm-hmm.
Have you got a chance to start listening to the show?
Yeah, I pop in. Plus, I always see him on the Jason and Mindy podcast.
Oh, that's right. You guys are always in the chat. That's right. So. I forgot. So he sent this in.
Hey, John and Deuce, this is Dino Red. I'm just calling to leave a little feedback on your last episode. I enjoyed it as always, guys. And I just wanted to say, Deuce, thanks for sharing that you and your wife never fart in front of each other. I thought me and my wife were the only ones.
Who knew that was going to be
those guys on the difference between this show, Just Ask Us, talking about that's a way to level up. I'm like, so are we not leveling up? But yeah, so just like you guys do, we've never done it like intentionally. We don't have as many years in as you guys, just like half as much, 14 years in.
That's still
pretty commendable.
That's right.
If I'm asleep or if one slips out every now and then, and the same for her. But all right, guys. Just thought I'd share that.
Right. So as long as you don't purposely rock up on one cheek and let one slide.
Well, evidently there's a need for me to start a support group. Right. Non-farters of America. Just like everyone's standing around the table. I have not farted in 14 years.
Right. Hey, way to go. Yeah, exactly.
So, who knew?
All right, 14 years? There you go.
Yeah.
Attaboy.
And many more.
Yeah, and then you get a chip for every year you go without a flatulent in front of your significant other.
Post it on Facebook. You always see that, like the people like that have been clean and sober for X amount of years. You see that up there. As of today, I've been fart-free for 23 years.
Right.
And everyone congratulates you. Big happy faces and thumbs up likes.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe a couple of hearts. Yeah.
That's true.
They got all these emojis now.
Another thing about podcasting is like when you find a podcast. Now, you have somebody. You okay over there? Yeah. Okay. What?
A stray thought just ran in there, like all these emojis now on Facebook. And one day obviously it was a horrible mistake. And the only thing I can imagine was the person that did it must have like gigantic sausage fingers like the Jimmy has. Right. So somebody had posted that they had a death in the family, someone very close, like a mother or or something like that.
Yes.
And they put the laughing emoji.
Oh no.
And I saw it, and I was like, well, this isn't going to end well. And like the whole rest of the day, I kept checking in to see if it was up there for about like 4 or 5 hours.
Right.
And eventually someone was like, what the fuck are you doing? And you know what? It's like,
yeah. Mouth wide open.
Because it was a little too close to the sad one, I guess. So I guess they must have did it on their smartphone and it just wasn't.
Right. Well, at least at Facebook, you can go back in and change it. Twitter.
Well, eventually they did. Oh, yeah. Twitter, it's out there forever.
Exactly. Getting back to the podcasting thing. Like when you find a podcast, like your coworker, is she all the way through all the episodes yet?
She started from ground zero all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
I think she might be just past the 1 year mark for us. We got 2 years in, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's a slow listener.
Well, no, we're just actually kind of prolific when you think about it, because we average a podcast a week.
Okay.
And she only just started like maybe right after Christmas.
Well, when I find one that I really like, I burn through the back catalog.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've listened, there's a couple shows I've listened to from show one all the way up. So Stephanie from Just Ask Us and
The Difference Between Us.
The Difference Between Us, thank you.
With Jason, Mindy, and David.
Right, and Stephanie.
Well, that goes without saying because you started the pretext with Stephanie.
Really, you're going to, please let me get through the story. So she was on Facebook and she says, has anybody listened to Serial? Well, Serial was out like 3 years ago. That's the podcast that everybody got into a hullabaloo over. It was about that guy from Washington.
That's before my time.
Yeah, so
I don't even know anything about it.
It's like a serial crime story where it's like very overproduced. It's kind of like an NPR show, And it was big back 3 years ago. Well, Stephanie just listened to the whole show. Or was it that one? No. S-Town, not Serial. S-Town. S-Town came out about a year ago. That's right. It wasn't Serial. It was S-Town. And she's like, I need to talk to somebody about it. And I'm like, I got to remember what was, we got to remember it because I had listened to it when it came out. But the thing about it was when they published it, they published every episode. I think it was like 6 or 8 episodes. They published every one.
Oh, all at the same time.
All at the same time. So it was like you listen to one and then you're like, oh, once you got hooked, you're like, I can't stop listening now. I think I listened through the whole thing, in just like one sitting. I sat there for like 6 hours listening to the whole thing. So it's funny that when someone finally finds it and they want to talk to somebody about it, they jump on and you're like, wait a minute, that was 3 years ago. What actually happened again? Or, 2 years ago or a year ago. So there's a lot of podcasts out there that are doing that. When you find one, I think it's really cool about podcasting is you can jump in any time and you have that excitement. So I'm excited that we're getting people that are, giving us feedback and listening to the show and, yelling at us. It's 7:00 in the morning.
I'm surprised that of all the topics that we talked about, that was the one that Doug chose.
Well,
that
we
infanticide is what got him angry.
Right. Yeah, I know. Yeah. So social media, kind of tough. The news today was the thing with Roseanne. Have you got a chance to hear any of that? What's going on?
I know what she did just from reading the news this morning. And I'm not surprised. I mean, she was always crazy.
Right.
Not a Roseanne fan myself.
When they said, the Roseanne show is canceled and it was because of a tweet, I was like, oh, what did she say? It was so bad. Then I read the tweet and I was like, ooh, hey, can't do that.
I think in a little bit she might be, and what she said was horrible, but she's always done horrible things like that her whole career.
Yeah.
But I think she may be delusional. I think she might be playing by the rules the way they were when she was on TV the first time.
Okay.
Like grabbing her crotch at the national anthem and putting the cookies in the oven that are supposed to be like little Jews. And, she did, and she got away with all that crap and, but it's a different
she said
time now.
She said she took Ambien and then she woke up and tweeted.
I think she used that Ambien excuse. Somebody used the Ambien excuse before that they were under the effects of Ambien, a celebrity fuck up of some kind. It may not have been her, but I remember Ambien. Let me do a cursory search on Google. And, but I remember the Ambien angle.
Well, the thing that gets me is that I've never tweeted out anything racial or racist like that, but I have picked up the phone in the middle of the night and, after waking up and just because I couldn't get to sleep and looked at something and, tweeted out something that got me in trouble, trying to make a joke. I've had that happen. Not that I was on any kind of sleep medication or anything like that. So you got to sometimes when you see something, here's the thing. This is what I've learned. When I see something that upsets me and I want to immediately fire back,
right?
I take and get out of the app. I say, I will come back in 5 minutes.
Let me count to 10.
I'll come back in 5 minutes and then respond. If I still feel strongly enough to respond, I will then respond. And that has kept me out of a lot of trouble because sometimes I go in there and I fire back. Although for some reason, I still have a lot of fun poking the bear with Dr. Jen Guntner because
here it was. It was House Representative Patrick Kennedy said he took Ambien not too long before crashing his car into a barricade.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was what it was. And then
it wasn't the Chivas, it wasn't the scotch that I was drinking.
And then Elon Musk went on a Twitter spree after claiming he had drank red wine and consumed Ambien. And Tiger Woods was under the influence of Ambien during a DUI arrest in 2017. And Sean Penn admitted to being an Ambien during Stephen Colbert's late night talk show. So I remember hearing Ambien before. I had no idea it was that many celebrities. It sounds like it's a cop-out.
All right, so
it's a very convenient cop-out. So now in the future, if you fuck up, I was on Ambien.
Well, here's the thing. It tells you right on the bottle. You take this, clear your schedule.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't go on a nationally syndicated show. Don't get behind the wheel of a car.
Don't operate heavy machinery.
Yeah.
Stay away from firearms.
Right. Put your phone down, shut it off, lock it in a drawer, take the medication, and go to sleep for like 12 hours. don't multitask on this.
Yeah. I was never a big fan of the show, and I know it had a huge following. A lot of people used to say, "Oh yeah, well it's so realistic because that's how it is in real life." And then I looked at it and I was like, well,
"Am I right?
Am I right, guys? Guys?" Yeah, because in the house that I grew up, my house did not look like that. Everything was in its place. My mother would not allow the house to look like that. Just shit all over the place, like clothes laying around, sneakers and everything. And that was the whole thing. I mean, I get it if women work and they come home and, of course, you're the hustle and bustle. But correct me if I'm wrong. Roseanne was just home all day in that show. I don't think she worked.
I think she worked as a waitress at a diner.
I don't know. I don't even remember.
Because that's where she used to always run into, what's her name? The lesbian from New York.
Sandra Bernhard.
That's it.
Yeah.
Lesbian from New York. The one with the gap in her teeth.
Yeah.
Her.
And she thought she was hot. But anyway, I mean, because people would say, "Oh, yeah, it's so realistic. It's like real life." And it was like, nah, not in the house I grew up with, nor in any of my cousins' houses, certainly not my grandparents' house. You know, so, I mean, it just seemed like it was like a cop at it. It was almost like she afforded people the opportunity and the excuse to be a slob.
Right. And then, it's funny. The other show that kind of took over that show, it's kind of copied after that show, was the show The Middle. I don't know if you ever watched The Middle. It's another ABC show. Or I don't know what network
I watch very little television anymore.
Yeah, it's real. It's true because the stuff that I watch is always recorded, and I watch it when I want to watch it. Dude, the biggest show that I'm in right now is Wicked Tuna, which is where these boats go off the coast of Massachusetts and they try to hook these, 500, 600, 700-pound tuna fish.
I honestly can't think of anything that's on the major networks that I watch. I don't think there's anything.
Yeah, there's
ABC, NBC, or CBS. There's nothing I'm watching on there.
I love the show Blue Bloods. I did a podcast about it for another network a long time ago. I still watch that. The show Timeless that was just on. I like that show. Trying to think what else. There's a new show out. It was SWAT, was the guy from Criminal Minds.
I mean, I got to go way back there. I mean, I was Cheers is still probably my favorite show, and that went off the air in like 93.
So really?
Something like 93, 94. Okay. And then Seinfeld after that. That might have been The Simpsons, of course. That was on Fox. But I haven't even watched, like we discussed this before, I haven't watched The Simpsons in about 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
The way I used to. And Seinfeld went off the air how many decades ago?
Right.
It's 20 years now, I think we're coming up on. Believe it or not, that's how long that show's been off the air.
When are they going to reboot that? They're rebooting all kinds of shows now. They got Magnum P.I. They're rebooting that.
You know what? I know what it is. Definitively, the last show that I watched, network, was The X-Files.
Wow.
Okay, and that went off the air.
And came back.
Well, now they rebooted it. When you said the reboot, that's what reminded me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that went off the air like in 2000, 99, 2000, 2001. I still owned my store when I was watching it.
Yeah, but just think about all the people who are out of work now because of Roseanne. Not the actresses and the actors. I mean, don't get me wrong. That sucks, too.
The best grip.
Right. The guy, all those people, whatever they do.
The boom mic guy.
Right, all of them. The camera guys, the writers, all that. They woke up and they're out of a job.
I have to wonder how much of it was because the whole thing was she's portraying the same character, but apparently for whatever reason, Roseanne Barr, who is a gigantic lib, she came out as a real big Trump supporter. And I think on the economic side of things, I think she was, that was the one thing that she got on the Trump train for, was his economic policy, and it does seem to be working. And then she put that belief into her show. It makes me believe that if she was like a full blown out Hillary supporter, if she had done this,
dude,
if they would have not done away, because you're the big conspiracy theory guy.
There's no coming back. When you talk about a woman of color and use the word Planet of the Apes, you're fired.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like Mr. Spacely fired.
Yeah, you are Mr. Spacely fired.
There's no comeback.
You're fired!
Yeah, you're not. There's no way you're coming back from it. That's
poor John Goodman. He was like, "Yeah, okay, I'll do the show."
Well, the memes are hysterical. They're coming out.
I haven't seen any of them.
Oh
yet.
my God, there's one of them.
I haven't been on Facebook all day today.
The whole cast is on the couch. The cast of the show's on the couch, and it says Ambien killed the whole family. And then there's one where I don't know if you ever saw the movie Friday, which is a fantastic movie. I think it's with Ice Cube, Ice-T, one of the Ices, and.
Vanilla Ice.
No.
Well, he said it was one of the ice.
Yeah, I forget. And the other,
just not that ice.
Oh, God, I can see their faces. I can't think of their names. But anyhow, it's the movie's called Friday. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic movie. And the one they're sitting on the front porch, and the one guy says, "I got fired." He says, "How the fuck you get fired on your day off?" So then what it was.
I saw that one. Yeah,
yeah. It's like Roseanne's head, and what's the guy's? I can't think of the guy's name.
Anywho,
yeah. And it says that. So there were so many memes that were going on about that. And then, our friend, old President 45, he's like, wait a minute, why is everybody talking about somebody else? So he had to jump on. Where's his tweet? Is his tweet in here? I think I had it in here. Yeah, here it is. Bob of ABC called Valerie Jarrett to let her know that ABC does not tolerate comments like those made by Roseanne Barr. Gee, he never called President Donald J. Trump to apologize for the horrible statements made and said about me on ABC, or maybe I just didn't get the call.
That's pretty cool.
What? You got to make it about him?
Yeah, because Obama never did that.
You know something? You're right. He never tweeted
did you
out.
Hear his last weird comment he made?
No.
He was making a speech somewhere and, probably shaking people down for money or whatever, because that's what former presidents do. Yeah, that's what former presidents do.
That's all they do.
And but he said something like something to the effect that there'll be 1 million Barack Obamas, 1 million Barack Obamas, and 1 million Michelle Obamas, and we're the future and all that stuff. It's just like every time he turned around, they say that Donald Trump was a narcissist, but he learned from the best if he is.
Donald Trump's definitely a narcissist.
Yeah, Obama was a huge narcissist.
And I would say that, that would be true. But the thing about it is, I think Donald Trump he can't stop himself. He's like me.
Well, he loves to play the media, and he knows how to.
Exactly. And he's a carnival barker. He knows how to get everybody
fired up. You would think that they would know by now after he's burned them so many times, and he's only not even 2 years into his presidency. But he just throws. He's like just throwing breadcrumbs to seagulls, and
they come a running,
swoop in.
They come a running. I mean, it's the stuff that he says, and then what cracks me up is people they follow him because, and I'm just going to jump. It's like as soon as I type in "real," he comes up. He's at Real Donald Trump. So as soon as he does his pooping and tweeting in the morning, this is what you get. 8.5 thousand comments, 6.9 thousand comments, 57,000 comments, 37,000 comments, 18,000 comments. I mean, it's just amazing. They just can't wait to jump on there and tell him. And I'll be honest with you, the comments are better than the tweets.
They always are.
They lose their mind in there. It's hysterical. But I'll tell you one thing. Since I like to be fair, there is a good Trump story out there right now where he and nobody, of course, they are not going to tell anybody about this.
Walking away from the North Korea summit?
No.
That was a great story.
He just signed into law the right to try, where that gives patients that have life-threatening illnesses that have access to experimental treatments.
That the FDA won't approve.
Right. They have access to that so they can try.
That was another campaign promise that he kept.
Well, you know something? That to me, and they're like, oh, well, now that's the insurance companies. This. I'm like, listen, you were given a death sentence. They have no treatment that works.
No approved treatment that works.
Right. So why not try something like this? If you die, you die. You're going to die anyhow. At least you take a shot. At least they can, if they find something here, it might help somebody else down the road. Why not do this? They say, well, it gives the insurance companies an out, so they're not responsible, and they'll try things. They'll try other things. And I'm like, I honestly, in my heart of hearts, here's my conspiracy theory coming out. In my heart of hearts, I feel that they do have a cure for cancer. I feel they do. And they just don't want to put it out
Based on what?
Did I just tell you I have a feeling?
Yeah, but you have to have a feeling based on something.
I see that there's a lot of things that are going on here as far as you see stories about where people are taking different experimental drugs in other countries and they're curing themselves of cancer. They're taking their own blood out. They're taking their own blood out. They're doing something to it and they're injecting it back into them and their own cells are fighting the cancer. I have a feeling that we're very close to having that. The problem is that the cancer and the chemotherapy drugs are like one of the main money makers.
Well, radiation and chemo
are one of the main money makers for the medical industry. And if they cured cancer tomorrow, there would be so many.
Well, I don't think it's fair to say that they're the main money makers. It's the only thing where there's a reliable track record where it is effective if the cancer is detected early enough. If you get the kind of cancer that my mother had, which was pancreatic cancer, which is a very swift-moving, quick-moving cancer. By the time the symptoms show up, it's already too late.
They're having success in curing that now, too. So we're kind of getting there, but I just think it's just taking a long time. So I like the idea that they're doing this. So, for every time I talk about bad President Comeover, here's a good thing that he did. I approve this, but, everybody jumps on and everybody's got an opinion. What do you want from me? I don't know.
I don't know.
So you put something up here on the board, which I kind of got a kick out of. I think you were talking about me.
Actually, I think I just posted this on Facebook.
Yeah,
and you glommed on it.
Well, we have our own little secret Facebook group that we put stories in, so we talk about them. And one of the things that I thought was kind of funny about this is it says that radio presenters and journalists are among the top jobs for psychopaths. And I'm like, really? I mean, is that the...
And I've always called you a psychopath or a sociopath.
A blabbermouth, you called me.
Well, I've also said you're a sociopath.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't look up sociopath.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like a psycho. They're very close, but there are differences.
So what it says here is if you work in radio, you are more likely to be subjected to psychopathic behavior from your coworkers. That's number one. A guy, Dr. Dutton, wrote a book detailed that these type of jobs, radio, TV, attract psychopaths. Journalists and media presenters are like second and third. So anyhow, the top 10 list are CEOs, journalists, media presenters, public servants, police, clergy, salespeople, surgeons, lawyers, and chefs. Chefs.
Look at that. I'm number 7. I'm a salesperson.
Look at you. So then it says, what is a psychopath?
Well, I could see chefs with that, with that Chef Ramsay. Think about anybody on the Food Network that had a show, like Emerald.
Yeah.
And...
You think they're psychopaths?
Well, I mean, they're like that larger than life. Look at me. Look.
Well, I think that's part of it, but the other part of it is that they have lack of empathy. Like they don't care about anybody else. They don't care about lying. It's just that's the whole thing about being a psychopath.
Mm-hmm.
So then when I looked that up, I also looked up that there's a test out there.
Ooh.
So I figured that maybe we could take the test.
Okay. Do you have a pen? Wait a minute. Did you go through this test and make sure that there's a payoff, unlike the last test we went through and we had to cut from the show because there was no payoff at all?
I did this 20 minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
What do you think? The answer is no.
No, that there's no outcome, or no, you didn't check it out?
I didn't check it out.
Okay. Let me you got a pen over there?
Yeah, I got a pen and paper right here. Hang on. Oh, you got one. There you go.
Yeah, it must be from the last test.
Look at you.
Look at me. It's your shit. It's laid on the table. I didn't do nothing. Hey, you got a lot of notes in here.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, howdy. Okay.
All right. Do you have excessive glibness or superficial charm?
I would say I have a lot of glibness, but I don't know if I have superficial charm.
Okay. For sociopaths, the answer to this question is yes. All right. Do you have
I'll give that a yes for me. How would you answer for you? Because I'm pretty glib. I know that.
I'm pretty fucking charming, to be quite honest with you.
Like that pig on Green Acres,
Yes. One fucking
like
charming
Pulp
pig.
Fiction.
That's right. I'm pretty fucking charming.
Okay.
All right. Question number 2. Do you have a grandiose sense of self-worth?
No.
Excuse me?
No.
You do not. That is so wrong. You definitely have a grandiose
Grandiose?
Sense of self-worth. Yes, you do.
Do you know what the word grandiose even means?
Very large. Yes. You have a very large sense of self-worth. You do. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, I can't help it if I'm fucking awesome.
Exactly. Exactly. Prove my point. Number 3.
Oh, wait a minute. You're not answering for you.
I do not.
Oh, no.
No, I really don't. No. As a matter of fact, my self-worth. No, serious. I'd have to say that I'm on the other end of that scale.
Fucking me.
Wait a minute. That's not true. That doesn't even have anything to do with that. What do you mean?
We did it last week on the podcast when Diane was here.
What do you mean by that?
You always slip that little zinger in there. I was talking about the condo that I used to live. Oh, the one that I tried to talk you out of buying?
Dude, we're doing a comedy podcast here. Do you understand that?
Yeah, that's self-worth. Okay. That's a grandiose sense of self. It's yes for me.
You just want to drag
yes
it. Really isn't.
You.
But all right, if you want to put that down there, it's wrong. But go ahead, knock yourself out. Do you have excessive need for stimulation or prone to boredom?
No,
I don't either. I'm not.
I always have something to occupy me.
Right. Well, it says psychopaths can't endure periods of doldrums. So you always have something where sometimes I can just stare at. No, that's not true either.
Well, you always have something. You're busy, man. Yeah, you got shit to do.
I do fill my day. I just can't sit around and do nothing. It drives me insane.
Well, I mean, but no, it's just because you are a very productive person. See, this is where I think they try to split hairs. If you're a naturally productive person where you're like, you know what, I'm done this now. Like, example for me today, I told you before we went on the air. I looked outside, looked at the weather report, and we're supposed to get another goddamn week of rain here.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want to cut the fucking grass at 8:30 in the morning in the drizzling rain, but I did it because I got a couple of days of work coming on, and the grass would be a mile high before I got a chance to do it again.
I would have said fuck it.
I just didn't want to do it later because it's a harder job down the road.
I hear you.
And you don't cut your grass.
No.
So there you go.
That's right.
That's why you would have said fuck it.
Right.
So, but I mean, I think you have to be careful to delineate what is being prone to the doldrums or just being productive and just getting stuff knocked out.
Right. Yeah, I can't stand.
I would say that was a no for both of us.
Right.
I just think we're just very efficient. We just know what you have to do.
Are you a pathological liar?
No.
Me either. I'm not saying that I haven't fibbed on occasion.
Yeah, but a pathological liar, right. That's when you start like believing your own press clippings.
Exactly. Yeah, that's not me. Are you conning or manipulative?
That's you. Yes, for you. Yes.
Really? When do I manipulate? Well,
yes.
I did con you into doing a podcast.
Yeah. And then behind the scenes, you're like, don't think I don't hear your voice in the background sending it to, hey, it would be really cool if you badmouth Deuce on your review, or something like that.
I have never, ever done that. Matter of fact, I protect you.
Oh.
Who
do I need protection from?
I shouldn't say protect you. I always stick up for you.
Who? You name names. Who do I need protection from?
I'm just saying it. Sometimes when people say something about you, I protect you.
Yeah, I don't believe it. But anyway.
Okay. I don't know why. Maybe psychopaths don't believe other people's stories.
I don't know. No one ever, why don't they come to me directly? Are they pussies?
Yes.
Evidently so.
Yeah. They're pussies. What do you want from me?
Pussies.
Yeah. Psychopaths often believe that they can pull strings and dupe other people. So there you go.
How would you answer that for you?
I could be manipulative. I can. I think all people that sell can, because that's kind of your job, is to manipulate them into doing what you want them to do.
I disagree with that because being in sales all my life, that's all I ever heard was like, oh yeah, all you have to do is have a string of bullshit ready and you can but it's not bullshit. It's product knowledge. And I was a car salesman.
Right.
And car salesman, I will say, not so much the car salesman, but the car sales industry, where a lot of that stuff comes from the dealership itself. Can be manipulative and they can be deceitful. And there's a lot of car salesmen that aren't that way and they leave those dealerships. Okay.
Mm.
What you have, no matter what you're selling, is product knowledge. So, for example, I don't know anything about podcasting. You were a producer and editor.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to come to you, and I have my ideas of how to do things, but I don't have the background or the knowledge or the street smarts, to do that. You do. Now, someone could easily say, oh, yeah, well, then this guy bullshitted me into telling me that I should do this and I should do that. No, it's you have product knowledge.
I guess. Yeah. So I don't try to manipulate. I mean, it's not something I do on a daily basis or something like that. Yeah, there's some times where if I want something, you try to get your own way, but not all the time. All right. Do you display a lack of remorse or guilt?
I would say, yeah.
You do?
I have remorse.
Oh, you don't have a lack of it.
Yeah. Do you display a lack of remorse or guilt? I'm not, in other words, are you remorseful or guilty and you're pretending that you're not? That's what they're asking you.
I don't think so.
Do you display a lack
of remorse or guilt? I don't think I have. I think I'm very remorseful, and I definitely feel guilty when I do something wrong.
But do you display a lack of it? In other words, they're asking, do you show a lack of it?
I don't think I think they say, do you have it, whether you show it or not.
Do you display?
Well, I know.
Depends on what the meaning of is.
Yeah, what the meaning of is. I think right now.
The way I read it is, do you display
That's what
a
it
lack?
says. That's what it does say. But I don't think they're saying it. So then here's the answer to that is psychopaths do not feel bad when they do bad things. So that's where I think I picked it up from. I feel bad when I do bad things. Like when I do something stupid or I do something wrong, I feel bad.
Right.
Psychopaths do not feel bad when they do bad things.
What was that? Question 6 or 7? 7.
That was 6.
Is it 6?
Yes.
Okay.
Question 7. Do you have a shallow affect? Ugh, this is a tough one. Psychopaths show a lack of emotion when emotion reaction is appropriate. I do kind of have that, but I think that's more of a male tendency where we always take and suppress our emotions. So I can find that I do that.
Do you cry at funerals? You're a psychopath.
I don't cry, dude. No? I don't cry. It's crazy.
You didn't cry at your mom's funeral?
Nope.
Wow, you're cold.
Mom, father, no, nothing.
Yeah, well, this is the last podcast I'm doing with you because Deuce is going to wind up in the river.
Not true.
Body butchered in pieces.
No.
Feeding the crabs.
Question number 8. Are you callous or do you lack empathy? Now, I know that I'm... All right. I can be callous, but I don't lack empathy. I do have empathy.
Not to be confused with sympathy.
Right. Right. Psychopaths don't care when bad things happen to other people. I think sometimes they fucking enjoy it.
Yeah, that's a real fucking sociopath, psychopath there. They fucking love it.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Do you have a parasitic lifestyle? Psychopaths prefer not to work for a living.
Nah, that's a big no for you and me.
It's easier to take stuff from other people.
Mm-hmm.
They're liberals.
Of course, we do have the national theme song, the official theme song of the Democratic National Committee.
Give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. What?
Yeah, don't work for it. We're going to give it away, give it away.
Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
That's our theme song.
And then here's number 10. Do you have poor behavioral controls? Psychopaths find it difficult to keep themselves in check.
Well, that's a yes for you.
It is a yes for me. Although I'm doing better now than I used to be when I was younger.
So what?
When I was younger, I had no control.
So it's
true.
That's
Number 11. Do you have a history of promiscuous sexual behavior?
No.
No, I don't think I do.
You're a whore.
I'm not a man whore. Not a man whore. You're not the first person to call me that this week either.
Really?
Yes.
See? If the foo shits.
Just saying. I got called that earlier today. Earlier this week.
Who?
I can't tell. I don't think that I'm a man whore. Do you have a history of earlier behavior problems?
No.
For me, I was a little son of a gun when I was younger.
Yeah, but read the bottom part.
Oh, cruel? No, I wasn't cruel.
Yeah.
I was just bad.
It's just boys will be boys, that's all.
Do you lack realistic long-term goals?
See, I don't even know how to answer that because I really don't make
long-term
the
goals.
only long-term goal I made was when I was like 8, and it was to get a Corvette before I was 30. And once I achieved that, I was like, yeah, I'm done.
That's a long-term goal. Plus, you know something.
That's the only one I ever made.
That's not true. You have like your 401k, your retirement, and all that stuff that you've been putting away for and doing that.
Well, you're supposed to do that.
I understand that, but that's like a long-term goal, and a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you've done it where like some people just do it because they're where they worked or whatever. I mean, you've made an effort to do that. A lot of people don't. Psychopaths prefer crazy schemes over life or career goals.
No, that's not me.
Yeah, that's not me either. I'm not a crazy scheme guy. Are you overly impulsive? Ooh, what is overly impulsive? I'm impulsive. I'm very impulsive. I'm a instant gratification kind of guy. So I would say that's a yes for me.
But in what reference are they used? Like impulsive, like
impulsive
in a
is
destructive manner, like.
Well, I mean, yeah. You know, buying things you can't afford, putting things on credit. I had a bout with that. You know, I had to learn the hard way with that kind of nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I have been overly impulsive. Hey, listen, look at this studio.
Oh.
I mean,
Psychopath.
We're talking about overly impulsive. I mean, this right here proves that I'm overly impulsive. Do you have a high level of irresponsibility?
No.
I would say no. I'm more responsible. I'm a responsible person.
Yeah, that's a no.
Do you fail to accept responsibility for your own actions?
Yes, for you. Not just trying to get a rise out of it. That's
See, really? I was going to say, I don't understand that. I'm always saying it's my fault if it's my fault. I take the blame. Well, first of all, here's the thing. The only person you're fooling when you try to move responsibility from yourself to somebody else, the only person you're fooling is yourself. Everybody else knows who did what usually,
mm-hmm.
and then, or they're going to find out, and then you're going to look like a jackass. So I'd rather look like a jackass up front than later on. I might, like I said, just take the hit. That's all. Number 17, have you had many short-term marital relationships? Well, that's a big no for both of us.
No. They got that whore Elizabeth Taylor there next to like.
Didn't she I don't know how many, 8 husbands or something like that?
Yeah, but she married Burton twice.
That's true.
Richard Burton got married.
Do you have a history of juvenile delinquency? No.
Well, I do.
You do?
Yeah. But, I mean, it went away. It was a one mistake thing. Me and Joe.
Oh, okay. History, not that's like more than one, occasion. I mean, I got caught.
Did you go to, like, court?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we both did that.
Yeah, exactly.
But after that, it was like, well, it's enough of that shit.
That's enough of that? Oh, trust me, it's enough of that shit. Have you ever experienced a revocation of conditional release? No, because I've never been incarcerated. So no. And then 20, do you display criminal versatility?
Versatility.
Like I said, versatility. Psychopaths different from normal criminals because they don't really care which type of law they break. They break any of them, all of them, under the right circumstances. So if you scored more than 30, if you answered somewhat or definitely to most of these questions, then you might be a psychopath.
Well, wait a minute. Where's the scoring guide?
God damn it. I don't know.
Is it at the top? Let's scroll
I didn't see it.
to the top.
I didn't see it.
Gotta have some rules in here. Where the goddamn rules? Here we are. The standard screening test for potential psychopaths is the hair. The subject is ranked on a 3-point scale. 0 item does not apply. Oh, so we could have put does not apply.
Right.
This would change our scores. Okay, a 1 means...
Kinda, 2 always.
Okay.
All right, we don't have time to go back through this again.
Yeah. Well, let's do it this way, and then let the audience draw their own conclusions.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not a psychopath.
Yes, you are.
I am not a psychopath. I know I'm not. Do I have psychopathic tendencies?
Okay, I got 3 yeses and 17 no's.
And?
You got 6 yeses and 14 no's. So you're more of a psychopath than I am.
Okay, so I have more psychopathic tendencies than you do.
I win.
Okay, you win.
You win the psychopath prize, but I win the upstanding moral citizen award.
All right.
We'll go with that. I like the way that sounds.
I hear you. All right, well, let's wrap this up.
I'll butter my own bread for me.
There you go. I am not doing a 2-hour show again this week.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a timer set. So I say, let's get out of here.
Okay. No Alexa?
Okay. Here we go.
Because we got space in there that you can trim.
Yes. Let's see what happens.
Did you want the song Here We Go?
Where did that come from?
Where did that come from, Alexa? All right.
Potty mouth Alexa.
Wow. I didn't know what happened there. Alexa, start the song quiz, please.
Welcome to Song Quiz, brought to you by Volley. How many people are playing Song Quiz?
2.
Choose a playlist. You can say 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, or 2010s.
Let's go with the 80s.
Let's begin.
Player 1?
Yeah, because I should be 2.
Player 1, question 1, for 10 points. Name the song title and artist.
Crazy Little Thing Called Love, Queen.
Pow!
Wow.
You got the title and artist right for 10 points plus an extra 10 bonus points. Your score is 20. Player 2, question 1, for 10 points. Name the song title and artist.
Far ahead, you're calling to me, I can't hear.
Cyndi Lauper. And I can't get it. It's on the tip of my
Time After Time.
Time After Time.
You got the artist right for 10 points. The song was Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper. Your score is 10. Player 1, question 2, for 20 points. Name the song title and artist.
I just called to say I love you, Stevie Wonder.
Kaboom! You got the title and artist right for 20 points plus an extra 10 bonus points. Your score is 50. Player 2, question 2, for 20 points. Name the song title and artist.
We gotta go for all we know. Just the two of us.
Just the Two of Us by Teddy Pendergrass?
The song was Just the Two of Us by Grover Washington Jr.
I would have never got
Your
that.
score is 10. Player 1, question 3, for 30 points. Name the song title and artist.
Hungry Like a Wolf, Duran Duran.
You screwed that up.
Crucial. You got the title and artist right for 30 points
Hungry
plus
like
an extra
the
10
wolf.
bonus points.
Not like Hungry
Your
like
score
a
is
wolf.
90.
Well, she's not as
Player 2,
cunty as you are.
question 3, for 30 points. Name the song title and artist.
Madonna. Not a big Madonna fan.
You got the artist right for 30 points. The song was Open Your Heart by Madonna. Your score is 40. Player 1, question 4, for 40 points.
I think player
Name
1
the song
gets the
title
easier
and artist.
questions, it seems.
You put the title right in it. Simply Irresistible, Robert Palmer.
Whammo!
He died
You
way
got
too
the
young.
title and artist right
Yeah,
for
he did.
40 points plus an extra 10 bonus points. Your score is 140. Player 2, question 4, for 40 points. Name the song title and artist.
I Want Your Sex by George Michael.
Tubular. You got the
Wow,
title and artist right
Tubular.
for 40 points plus an extra 10 bonus points. Your score is 90. Player 1, question 5, for 50 points. Name the song title and artist.
Will understand when it comes to love, I want a slow hand.
Slow Hand, Kim Carnes?
You got the title right for 50 points. The song was Slow Hand by the Pointer Sisters.
Oh.
Your score is 190.
That was a good guess, though.
Player 2, question 5, for 50 points. Name the song title and artist.
Phil Collins, Take a Look at Us Now.
You got the artist right for 50 points. The song was Against All Odds, Take a Look at Me Now, by Phil Collins. Your score is 140. Player 1, question 6, for 60 points. Name the song title and artist.
Wham.
Careless Whisper.
You got the artist right for 60 points. The song was Careless Whisper by Wham. Your score is 250. Player 2, question 6, for 60 points. Name the song title and artist.
I have no clue what that song is.
Oh.
I want to say Heart.
I think it's Heart.
The song was Listen to Your Heart by Roxette.
Roxette.
Your score is
Roxette.
140. It's time for the song quiz bonus round.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Here we go. This is where you can come back and win.
Player 1, your final question. For 100 points, name the song title and artist.
I got nothing.
I got nothing either.
Damn it.
The song was Sukiyaki by A Taste of Honey. Your score is
That's
250.
so obscure.
Player 2, your final question. For 100 points, name the song title and artist.
Won't you let me shelter you?
I have no idea. I'm not into ballads.
It's, what's his name? Oh, my God.
It's God. You're right.
Kenny Loggins. I can't think of his name. Not Kenny Loggins.
Kenny G.
Brian Adams.
The song was Hold On to the Nights by Richard Marx.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Player
Marx.
1
I
got
forgot about Dick
250
Marx.
points. Player 2 got 140 points. The power is yours. Player 1 wins.
There we go.
Man, there's a couple of those 80s, like
The next
ballads.
game
Alexa,
is starting in a...
Thank you.
Ballads I was never
Thanks
into.
for playing Song Quiz.
Stop.
You might like another
Alexa,
volley
stop.
skill called Word of the
Shut
Day.
the fuck
Say
up.
to your Echo, enable Word of the Day to learn a useful word.
There you go. Fuck you.
When all else fails, hit
When
the
all-
slide switch.
When all else fails, hit the mute button. It's still talking. Hold on.
Word of the Day.
Yeah, exactly. That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right.
I thought we were going to do the 70s, but hey, what?
Well, I honestly figured that you would have a better shot with the 80s than you
Nah,
did with the 70s. You grew up in the 80s.
Yeah, but like I said, ballads and shit like that.
Oh, well, we'll do it next time.
We get into those late 80s, and my musical knowledge starts to peter way out after about 1994, 95.
Dude, the funniest one is when we do the 2000s and 2010s. 'Cause
Oh.
I won't have a clue.
No, I won't.
That'll
have-
be hysterical.
That's
So, as you listeners were shouting at your radio the right answers, we apologize.
Mm.
But we did the best we could. What can I tell you? All right. So the score between you and I, 1-1, we're tied in the series.
You know what I found surprising? It doesn't bode well. It's like they didn't even go to the 50s.
Oh.
They started the 60s. So I guess
Right.
they're assuming that everyone from the 50s is dead.
Yeah.
Or there's no enthusiast that might know
Yeah,
the
that's true.
Tommy Fuller 4. Did I fought the law and the law won?
Right.
Just like-
If you want to be happy for the rest of your life, never make a pretty woman your wife.
Yeah, usually sung by ugly women.
Right. So, all right, let's get out of here. Let's talk about some podcasts that we love.
If you are looking for some other great independent podcasts and the podcasters that do them, check these people out because we highly recommend them and their podcasts. The Jason and Mindy podcast with Jason and Mindy, part of the Hush Your Face Network, and they did an outstanding Memorial Day episode because they kind of told you, they really highlighted what the holiday's about and not just barbecues. I don't know if you listened to it.
I didn't
or
get
not.
a chance to listen to that. I did hear the one with Bob, and I'll tell you what, it was nice to hear Bob back in the studio.
Yeah, it was funny.
It was funny. It was good. It was it was fun. He is their Deuce. He's the one that corrects them all the time. He's the one that calls them out all the time.
Well, actually, he's been doing this longer, so it's actually more apropos to say that I am your Bob.
Well, he's not there anymore. You're still doing it. I don't know what to tell. Whatever. Well, however you want to do it. Deuce Bob. Bob Deuce.
We're all, and Anthony, we're all just interchangeable.
That's right. The Who's Right podcast with Doug and Anthony, part of the Hush Your Face Network. This last episode they did was really cool, but there was, Anthony was just being Anthony, and like Doug's trying to, steer the show and do the show and stuff like that. And I thought to myself that if Doug and Anthony were in the studio together, like you and I were in the studio together, there would have been a fist fight. Like you could just hear Doug just like getting so mad at, there would have been stuff like that. It cracks me up that he would get, and then Anthony's like, well, what do you want me to say? I'll say whatever you want me to say. And they don't take any of it out. So it was a lot of fun to listen to. I guess not for Doug. I don't know. And then the whole thing with the Who's Right Navy. There's actually a Twitter out now. It's the Who's Right Navy. Who's Right Navy has. I know you know.
I'm sure. I wouldn't know about it.
It's the funniest thing. So go check them out. It's a funny show.
The difference between us with Jason, Mindy, Stephanie, and David.
Mm-hmm. I started to tell a story about how Stephanie started saying, let's talk about the show S-Town. So then we started messaging back and forth on Facebook Messenger. And she goes, oh, look, we leveled up. I go, does that mean we can fart in front of each other? She's like, no, that's not how that works. I was like, well, I was just trying to,
just curious.
Get the rules down here.
Apparently, Deuce is never going to, or Dino, we're never going to level up.
Never going to level up. You guys are down at the bottom.
Yeah, because we don't believe in just reckless farting.
That's true. My girlfriends from up north, Lisa and Sam, I shake my head. All right, so this week, the weekend that just passed, we had the Phillies playing the Toronto Blue Jays. Lisa is a big Toronto Blue Jay fan. I'm a Phillies fan. Sam could give a fuck. She's not really a sports fan. But because she's part of the I Shake My Head team, she was in on the bet. Matter of fact, Sam asked me, she said, Lisa would you like a friendly wager? And I said, yes, sure. So she was in on it. I wouldn't let her out of it. So I'm all excited. The Phillies have a great record at home. The Jays have a horrible record on the road. The Phillies were playing really well. I'm like, this is a slam dunk. Every game was close. I mean, the Phillies had a chance to win every game. They lost 2 out of 3.
Did any of them go extra innings?
No. The Phillies had like 3 men on base. They were down by a run. They had like 1 out, and they could not
stranded them.
They could not get a fucking. I'm telling you,
couldn't even get a blooper single to like knock someone in.
Dude, all they had to do was hit one into the outfield, and they would have scored a run and at least tied the game. You know what I mean? Nothing. So the bet was that whoever the loser was had to wear the other team's colors on social media, like through a Bitmoji, and then they had to sing the song. Like for our song was High Hopes, not Rubber Tree Plant. And their song was Let's Play Ball, which is the stupidest fucking song. So after they lost, I knew that if I didn't do this, I wouldn't. So I ended up recording. Now, I tried to find a karaoke version of Let's Play Ball. Believe it or not, there isn't one. So they're singing in the background. And it was only in mono, so I couldn't get the lyrics out. Like I tried to get the lyrics out. So, hey, listen, here it is. You've got a diamond, you've got 9 men, you've got a hat, a bat, and that's not all. You've got the bleachers, you got them from spring till fall. You got a dog, a drink, and an umpire's call. What do you want? Let's play ball. Is that a fly ball, or is it a seagull coming in from the lake to catch a game? Is it the last inning? Our guys are winning. Jays throws the smoker, a strike, and got no doubt you want. Let's play ball. Okay, Blue Jays, let's play ball. It's a beautiful evening, fans, at the ballpark. When the game starts, Warm summer breezes, sun going down. It's all dark at the ballpark. That's okay. It's a night game. Okay. Blue Jays. Let's play ball. Bring on the white. Blue Jays. Let's play ball. Bring on the White Sox. Bring on the Bo Sox. Bring on the Brewers, the Rangers, the Yankees, too. We'll beat the Indians. We'll beat the Tigers. We'll beat the A's so bad it'll make old Billy blue. What do you want? Let's play ball. Okay. Blue Jays. Let's play ball. Okay. Blue Jays. Let's play ball. So there you go. If I'm nothing, I pay off my bets.
That must be a pretty dated song because the Brewers aren't even in the American League anymore.
I thought that too. So
it's weird how things have flipped. Like the Astros are now American League.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. You know, so if you're a baseball fan and then you see them in the American League, that's kind of weird. Yeah, they won the World Series last year.
I rooted for the Dodgers because I'm a National League guy.
I can't root for the Dodgers.
I can.
I can't stand any LA teams. So,
wow.
Congratulations, Lisa and Sam. You won fair and square. Now we have the same bet because the Phillies go up there. Oh, that was the other thing. They were playing here, so they didn't have the designated hitter. So their pitcher would have to hit. So their pitchers never swing a bat. So I was like, we had like 9 batters to their 8. I think one of their pitchers hit a fucking home run. I don't know. But anyhow. So, yeah, congratulations. Your Jays won, and I'm in blue Jay. Thank God I look good in blue.
By the way, did you ever look at your post earlier today about the grammar Nazi?
No. Oh, that's right. Because I saw the grammar Nazi. Now, see, didn't I defend you there? I said that, it's kind
of like a left-handed defense, but...
Wait a minute.
Read your comment and then read what I wrote.
I got to find it. I got to find me now. Or no, it was in Brand X, wasn't it? Yeah, it was in Brand X.
You posted on Facebook in the Brand X
In the Brand
page.
X thing. Okay, so let's go over there real quick and see what happens as it tries to load.
Spinning beach ball of death.
The spinning beach ball of death. Here it is. Is there any... 4 people reached. I don't see any comments. Oh, I believe you mean I spelled anti-Semitic wrong. I thought I spell checked it. What the hell?
So, for those of you that don't know, John decided to take a shot at me because I'm a grammar Nazi.
Right.
And he says, this is what it's like podcasting with Deuce, except for the anti-Semitic. Anti-Semitic.
I shouldn't even have put that down there. I said, this is like podcasting with Deuce, the Jew hater.
To which I replied, I believe you mean anti-Semitic.
Right. See? Look at me. I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah, then I still
And then you're right. Exactly. So.
It's like
and listen, when you go over
my 5th grade teacher said, lazy grammar is a sign of a lazy mind.
That's exactly right. So when you go over to check that out over at the Brand X Facebook page, you can always give us a review. We would love that.
Just saying.
While you're there, take a couple of seconds.
2.5 seconds to hit like.
Mm-hmm.
All this entertainment.
That's right.
For free.
Exactly. We're not charging you $1 from Patreon.
The Unwritable Rant by the lovely Juliet Miranda. Are they back from Vegas yet?
Yes, it's driveway drinking season over there at the Mirandas.
Oh, that's right. I did see the Pontiac Solstices out.
Right. They're out there. That's my favorite time of the year in Chicago.
Top down sound.
Yes, that's right. It's when the Mirandas are out driveway drinking. That's when the stories start to happen. Married as Fuck with Randall and Brooke. They're doing a lot of interviews now. I'm digging their interview shows, and I still love the question and answers that they have. Like they have people, send them questions and they answer them. I like the show. I really do like the show.
The Rob and Slim Show with Rob and Slim and Sleepy Lucas, part of the Hush Your Face Network.
The Story Behind with Emily Prokop, also my co-host from the Hate the Wait podcast. Okay, I got to tell this story. So on Mondays, I work with Jessica Cutterman and Melissa Brilliant, and they record the Brilliant Observations podcast. I record it here. I do the editing and all that stuff for them. So Jessica had just come back from New York City, and she went to this place, this deli in New York called Junior's. And she goes, oh, my God, I had the most amazing chocolate mousse cheesecake. She goes, it was unbelievable. And they're talking about it. Now, it's 10 o'clock or 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. It's right before my eating window opens, right? And they're like, and I'm like, oh, it's a shame you can't have them shipped to you. And they're like, you can. So I'm like, really? Jessica puts the link in there. I look at the cake. Next thing I know, my wallet's out, my credit card's out. I ordered this $47 cheesecake, and it cost $24 to have it shipped to my house. I paid $70.
Dude, you better come in your pants when you eat that fucking cheesecake.
I paid $70 for a cheesecake. It's chocolate. It has chocolate on the outside. So it fucking came here today.
It's gone?
No. It gets worse. So it came here today, and I figured, after I calmed down, I said, well, you know what? I'm going to actually have a little slice of this cheesecake because, you know what? It's not going to hurt to do this because what happens is, for me, when I'm trying to lose weight, like I get this buildup and I just keep denying yourself. And remember, I'm very impulsive. So if I don't relieve the pressure, it's like diet masturbation. If you don't relieve that pressure, you end up doing something crazy, like getting married. Anyhow, so I have the cheesecake upstairs. So it comes here today. So I'm like, oh boy. Mm-hmm. I take it. It comes in a styrofoam. No wonder it's $24 to ship it. It comes in a
packing
styrofoam
itself. Yeah,
it's got dry ice in it. It's in a box. I open up the box and everything. I go to get the knife. It is frozen, rock fucking solid.
Yeah, dry ice, man.
Yeah. So now it's in the refrigerator sitting there mocking me.
Thawing out.
Right. So then I figured I got it I guess it was like 12 o'clock. So before I came down here at 4 o'clock, I was walking by the refrigerator. I'm like, I wonder if that thing's. So I bring it out, try to get a knife. I think I chipped
quarter of an inch.
I chipped the corner of it off. And I'll tell you what, that is pretty. It's really, really good. So next week, do you like cheesecake?
Does the Pope shit in the woods?
Well, next week I'll bring that down. You can tell me whether it's worth $70 for the cheesecake.
If that cheesecake is even here a week from now.
No, I'll save you a slice. I'll save you a slice.
We'll see how long.
Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to give most of it away. No. Dude, if I ate that whole thing the way I haven't had any sugar right now,
I would do like a diabetic shock.
I would go into diabetic shock probably. Yeah. I was like sitting there. I'm like looking at it next day, and I was like, "Why is my credit card out? Why am I typing my name? Why am I putting my information in there? Oh no!
Why is the FedEx guy here?
It's crazy.
He's instantly here.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we leave off? Okay, Horribly Awkward Show with Sean Fuller, part of the Hush Your Face Network.
The Jeff Hurt Show with Jeff and Gary. I was listening to the last episode, and Gary is the co-host. Jeff is the host. Or I guess they're both co-hosts or whatever. And Jeff is always kind of ask Gary about his day. So Gary goes into this thing where he's doing like work around the house, and he starts explaining he starts to really, and then Jeff's like, no one cares. Continue on. Let's go. Let's get and Gary's not stopping. He is describing, well, the gate was normally on the left side, but it's now on the right side. And he's like, no one cares. Keep it moving. Move along. I just thought it was funny. And I got to tell you, Gary was unfazed. He just kept plowing through.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Yep. He didn't care.
Ask me how I know. Okay.
Because you do
Everyone has a podcast with Adam and Brian.
The Bold and Belligerent Show with Lauren, Josh, Luke, and Adam. Last week, I think it was Friday night, I got a message that they were recording again. So I went, and on my phone, I have my personal Mixler account. But here, I have the Brand X one. So I sign up, and I hear the guys that are going, who's John Buccanesis? What's John Buccanesis? Or whatever. They're trying to say my name. So then finally, I typed in, I said, it's John from the Brand X Podcast. And they go, it's John from the Brand X Podcast. And I hear Luke go,
Is he still salty?
Oh, yeah, he's still salty. But they did a pretty good show. Their team, their hockey team, is in the Stanley Cup Finals. I have a feeling they're going to win it all.
Who are they playing against?
The Washington Capitals. I'm actually rooting for Las Vegas. I'd like to see them win. just because I hate the Capitals. But
yeah, I have no horse in that game.
First season that they were in the league, they were expansion team, and they might win the Stanley Cup Finals. That would win the Stanley Cup. That would be amazing. I think that would be pretty cool.
It's kind of like with the Ravens, which was the Cleveland Browns. Poor Cleveland. They finally get a good football team, and they're like, fuck you, we're going to Baltimore. And that's the year that the Ravens won. They beat the Giants. I think it was like a 95 or 96.
Yeah, I do remember they did win a game. That's true.
It's just like, what an F you to the city of Cleveland.
I'll tell you what, the Cleveland Browns football team, it must be cursed. They must have someone over there.
And in the 50s, that was like, them and the Lions were like, they were like the dynasty teams back then.
I forget how many quarterbacks they've had in the past. It was just a phenomenal amount of quarterback turnover there. It's just ridiculous. I really feel bad for Cleveland Brown fans. It's horrible. I would hate that.
Brilliant observations with Jessica and Melissa.
Yep. Just ask us with Jessany and Jason and Stephanie. God, what is wrong with my mouth?
It always seems to be with Jason.
Right? Yeah. What is that?
If you're not putting the letter Y in his name, the poor guy.
I don't understand what's going on with me. I really don't. It's the stupidest thing.
Want to try it again?
No. I did say it right. I did say it correctly.
No, it'd be that way. This could get awkward with Janelle and Samantha.
Yeah, apparently, I don't know how long this podcast is going to last because one of them seemed to move away. So now they're doing the remote thing like they were in the same city.
What's that this could get awkward?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like one of them moved out of town. So we'll see what happens with that show. I like it. It's a good show. A couple 20-somethings, girls talking. I enjoy it. Dumb All Over with Tom and Austin.
The Shiznit Show with Dino, Jean-Monique, and Pip Lilly.
I was listening to the show, their latest show. I love the show. I love them. They do a great job. It's an amazing show to listen to. They were talking about how Dejan got her dog all stoned, and then what to do about when you get your dog stoned. So I don't know. I just love that show. Mm-hmm. And then finally, my girls, the Secular Soup girls.
Oh, it's not on there. I'm like looking.
Yeah, I know. I thought I put them on there and you erased them.
No, I wouldn't do that.
The Amy and the misspelled Amy, as Deuce likes to say. They just did
You cut that out of the show.
What's that?
You cut that out of the show. Just saying.
I did?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so. Oh, maybe I did. Well, usually what I do is I'm
used to it. It's okay.
I grab a hunk. Oh my God.
It's okay.
You'd be kidding me.
Psychopath.
Yeah, I'm a psychopath. That's right. That's me. Well, I'll try that. Try that again.
I thought you threw up into the mic. Like, what's he doing over there?
Oh, I can't cut this. I will stop reacting to my fuck-ups like that because they're so funny I can't cut them out. If you've enjoyed this show, then please do us a favor. Tell a few friends. Even share this episode on your social media accounts. It's easy to do, and we would really appreciate it. We are on these social media platforms. Find us on Facebook, facebook.com/BrandX Podcast. We're on the Twitter @BrandX. On Instagram @BrandX. Just like and follow us and share us with your friends. We would really appreciate it. And we would love it if you joined in on the conversation. You can also email us, brandxpod@gmail.com, or you can call into the Times Yours voicemail like Dino read from the Shiznit Show did, 856-322-2473. Leave us a message, and we will feature you on our next Times Yours segment. Thank you so much for listening, and come on back next week for another episode of the Brand X Podcast.
See ya.
Will you shut the fuck up so I can end the recording?
That's it. We're just getting into it.